welcome to your Asian Pulse TV, an informative and resourceful station. I'm your host, Manny Randhawa. Today we are broadcasting from the untraditional territories of Silvertooth Nation, Mokim, and Kwantlen Nations. We feel very blessed for the generosity of the first people who let us share this land with them. India's Republic Day is on January 26th. But why is it celebrated as a Republic Day? Basically, India gained its independence in 1947, but the Constitution of India came into effect on January 26, 1950, which means this replaced the Government of India Act 1935 as the governing document of India and thus turning the nation into a republic separate from the British Raj. India as a whole celebrated this occasion with great joy and flavor. The 74th Republic Day will be observed this year. Today is also Bell's Let's Talk Day, which is the biggest fundraiser for mental health and to operate a kids crisis line so that kids can talk. Please donate for this cause, as well as Canadian Blood Services, who are always in need of blood donation. They are looking for people like you, so donate generously. Let's take a short break here and hear some words from our sponsors.
I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated.
For any kind of visa-related services, contact Milky Way Immigration, a galaxy of opportunities located at Unit 209-9547 152 Street, Surrey, BC. They have licensed immigration consultants, placement officers, and LMIA experts to meet your immigration and recruitment needs. Book one-time free consultation either on Facebook or by calling 604-396-0005.
Arvind's Curry and Cocktail, Indian cuisine. They do catering for all occasions and they do free delivery. Please call 604-515-1070. Address is 420 6th Street, New Westminster. Open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. For deliveries, call 604-515-1070 or arvindscurry.com.
Bollywood Banquet Hall and Conference Center, located at Pile Business Center at 201-8166 128th Street in Surrey. No celebration is too small to accommodate you. They have newly renovated 2 halls to serve you, up to 1,000 guest capacity, top-notch chefs to delight you with delectable and heavenly cuisine. So just call Bollywood Banquet Hall at 604-598-2700 for your events. Benisi Mobile Detailing Services. They offer commercial trucks, cars, SUV, boats, bikes, RVs, and much more. Just give them a call at 778-808-2859. Just give them a call at 778-808-2859 and they will do all kind of services at your home. Thank you, sponsors. As you all know, January is also Alzheimer Awareness Month. So today, our guest is Avalon Tunier, an educational and support coordinator of Alzheimer's Society of BC. She's here to talk about dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
Hello and welcome to Asian Pulse. And on our show today, we're gonna have Avalon Tunier. She's support and education coordinator for Alzheimer's Society of BC. As you all know, January is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. So for that reason, we want to educate you on so many people that are living with Alzheimer's and dementia. So there is 2 different things, dementia and Alzheimer's, and we're going to be talking about the difference between these 2. So welcome, Avalon. Thank you for coming in. You have been here before.
Thank you very much, Camilla. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
And Happy New Year's to you.
Happy New Year to you too.
Okay, tell a little bit about the society.
The Alzheimer's Society is a non-profit. We are a registered charity, and we provide support groups as well as education for friends and family of people affected by any form of dementia. We have support groups for the individuals who are diagnosed with an early form of dementia and also for the caregivers. And as I mentioned, we have education. The education, we have webinars every Wednesday. And if you can't make it to watch them on Wednesday, you're welcome to watch them afterwards. About 5 days later, they're recorded and you can watch them at your leisure when you have time. We also have presentations in person, live in communities all over British Columbia where you can attend. Same as the support groups. We have those virtually, but we also have those in person as well.
So do you know how many people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's each year? Or people that are living with the disease?
People right now that are living with dementia in British Columbia, there's about 85,000 people. And within 7 years, by 2030, there's expected to be 1,333 people. So it's almost going to be doubled in 7 years. That's a lot of people. In British Columbia, that's in British Columbia. In Canada, there's 600,000 people, and that will be close to 1 million in 7 years.
Do you know any idea why are there so many people diagnosed with Alzheimer's?
That's a great question, and we get that quite often. A lot of it is that years ago it was not diagnosed at all. People didn't go to the doctors. They weren't really aware of the symptoms. They just thought it was part of normal aging, and it is not part of normal aging. And also, we have an older population now, an aging population. And it is not normal aging, as I mentioned, but your risk factors, as it does with heart and stroke, increases as you age. So as we have an aging population, we do have more people as well that are being diagnosed. And as I mentioned, it's getting diagnosed more accurately and more often now too.
So what are the first signs? If I am senior or aging, and should I go to and if I forget things, and I don't remember the names, or I don't know where I put the keys, or if somebody asks me, what did you have for breakfast? And I can't say, I had cereal and toast. When do you think that alarm bells are there that we should go talk to somebody that say, check me out, what's going on with my brain, I can't remember.
Right. A lot of those things are normal aging, and we do have a workshop called The Healthy Brain, which talks about the difference between normal aging and the symptoms of dementia. But just forgetting your keys, leaving the mall and forgetting where you parked your car, that's pretty common. But leaving the mall and not remembering, did you come on the bus, did you walk? Those kind of things are what you should be more concerned about. If you are a bit worried about your memory, but no one else around you is, that's something to consider as well. Forgetting names occasionally, if it's an acquaintance, that's quite normal. If you're forgetting names of people very close to you, close friends, close family, then that's another symptom as well. You might forget conversations that you had with an acquaintance, 6 months ago, even 4 or 5 months ago, a year ago. But forgetting a conversation you just had this morning, that's another symptom. You always want to make sure you go to a doctor if you're concerned, and especially if your family's concerned as well, or your friends, because it may not be dementia. There may be something else going on, and maybe some other illness that could be treated. So you want to make sure that you do go to the doctor and get checked out if you're concerned.
So if you go to the doctor and just say, my mother or my mother-in-law or somebody, that this is what we've been witnessing, that she's more forgetful now, and so what would they do? They will ask you to go to the hospital, have a CT scan done. How do you diagnose in the brain that it's dementia?
They often do the CT scan to eliminate whether there are other things involved. It will show some atrophy in the brain, but not enough to say it's a definite diagnosis of dementia. But it will eliminate whether there's been any kind of strokes or whether there's brain tumors. The doctor will do a series of tests. They'll run blood tests to eliminate other things that could be causing the memory loss, even something as simple as potassium deficiencies. Maybe there's a thyroid problem. Could be a lot of other health issues that are causing the memory loss symptoms that they're seeing. He'll ask a lot of questions, put you through a test, but he'll usually speak to a close family member and ask them what kind of symptoms they're seeing as well. So it's always good to attend the doctor with someone else and make a few notes. And the Alzheimer's Society has some great supports for people. You can phone our dementia helpline. That's at 1-800-936-6033. It's open weekdays from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And they can provide you with that information about how to prepare for that doctor's appointment. What are the kind of things that I should write down? What is he going to ask me? And what are the kind of things I should tell him? So we have some great information that you can take with you and prepare for that appointment.
I find there are so many people, because of the stigma in the family or in the culture, that we don't talk about that you don't remember things. So we don't. We are not open and honest when you go and visit our doctors. We try to minimize that.
We do.
That okay, once in a while it happens. Oh yeah, and your daughter will be sitting next to you. Yeah, it happens, but I'm fine otherwise. Okay, so during Alzheimer's Awareness Month, which is January, and what kind of educational series or what do you do during this month?
We have a lot of education going on. We've just done a Healthy Brain for the City of Surrey, and we're doing those all over the province. We do have educational workshops going on all the time about how to communicate more effectively with people with dementia, behaviors, strategies for the changes you might see in the behaviors, even things for like navigating the healthcare system. Someone's concerned, how do I get help through the healthcare system? What do I need to tell the people and prepare for the assessment? And what number do I phone? Again, that dementia helpline can provide all that information. But I'm glad you also mentioned about the stigma, that there is a great stigma around Alzheimer's disease and dementia itself as well. And we would like to get the meaning across this year that there is still a great life. There's a meaningful life after a diagnosis of dementia. So many people are afraid to go to the doctor because there is that stigma surrounding dementia and Alzheimer's disease as well as other dementias. So we'd like people to know that there is still a meaningful life. I know many people who've lived with dementia anywhere from 6 to 10 years that are still enjoying their life. And the Alzheimer's Society can provide tools for them, the person themselves who's diagnosed, as well as friends and family members, so that they'll have strategies for coping with the changes that they're seeing. But also education, as we'd mentioned before, workshops and so on, to provide them with the tools for handling the changes that are going to be occurring.
So if my mother is living with dementia, suppose, and should it be she attending the forums or those sessions or the caregiver? Because my mother might not remember everything that's been in thought or, that is being discussed in that forum or the session, because she'll be out of it. She says, okay, she would not be able to swallow all the information, right? Or retain the information. So is it always wise for a support person to go?
Yes, but there are different types of workshops we have. There is one called Getting to Know Dementia, as well as one called Shaping.
These could be very early stages, get to know dementia.
Early stage. Very good point. It is early stages. And that is for getting to know dementia and also for the Shaping the Journey. And that's where they go with a friend or family member to learn as much as they can about their diagnosis, but also how to live a rich and meaningful life with their diagnosis. And then we have other workshops that are just specifically for the caregivers. As you mentioned, it wouldn't be worthwhile for the person who has dementia necessarily to go to that because there's, of course, subjects and topics that may be coming up that, they won't be interested in really. And a lot of coping strategies that the family members and friends will be provided with for, as I mentioned, handling the changes that they're going to see. And even things like, as we mentioned, the healthcare system. So that would be more directed towards the caregivers and care partners rather than the person who is diagnosed with dementia. And you're right, it's definitely people in the early stage that those types of things would be helpful for.
Is there a cure?
No, unfortunately, there isn't a cure. We wish there was, but the Alzheimer's Society is constantly contributing to money for research. We've contributed $67 million with
That's lovely.
Alzheimer's Society of BC, with the Alzheimer's Society of Canada, to hopefully find a cure for Alzheimer's and other dementias as well. So we're constantly investing in that. But there is medication that can help people. It certainly isn't a cure, but it helps people plateau out so that they do have more quality of life longer. That is another thing that will encourage people to get that diagnosis and go to the doctor. Because if they get on that medication earlier, it seems to work a little more effectively.
You still live, you're still gonna get it, but it's gonna be over the period of time.
That's right. And there's going to be, it'll slow down a little bit, as I say, more of a plateau rather than seeing a big drop
Yeah.
in abilities.
Because I also know some people that they have to have 24-hour caregiver. Young women and very, very active in the community and all that. And it didn't take very long. For last 3 years or so, we need to have full-time caregiver with her. So it's a sad thing to see, right?
It is very sad. It is very hard on people, both the person diagnosed as well as the family. And we certainly want to validate that and recognize that. And the Alzheimer's Study, of course, can help with that too through our support groups. We do have support groups for people in the South Asian community as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we have one of our staff members who will speak
speaks the
several
language.
South Asian languages, yes.
Yeah. Hindi, Punjabi,
Yes, that's
and
right.
all those languages.
Yes.
So do you have a group right here in Surrey right now, or you don't?
We do have a group in Surrey. There is quite a wait list for that group, but if you phone the Dementia Helpline, we can put you on that wait list. Things do change. So, and we have one, we're starting in White Rock. We have one in communities all over British Columbia. And then, as I mentioned, a lot of them are virtual, which can be really handy for someone who can't leave the home, can't leave that person alone. They can attend that group in their living room virtually and see that they're not alone. There's other people they can share their story with and feel supported and get a little bit of information as well while they're doing that.
Wow. Do you have any fundraising coming up, any works? I think you're also going to have a work in May. That's what I remember.
We do, thank you. We have an annual walk in May. It's May 28th. It's
And
our
last
largest.
Sunday of the month.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's the largest fundraising event we have. It's all across Canada. So check on our website and find where it is in your community and sign up. You can volunteer. We're always looking for volunteers for our walk. And you can always contribute to it. But just to have people come out and participate and be there so that our families and the people diagnosed feel supported in their community. So thank you for asking about that.
So do you think dementia is for seniors or old people that are aging, or younger people can be diagnosed with dementia as well?
Certainly younger people as well. As I mentioned, age is one of the larger risk factors, but not the only one. There's concussions and diabetes and vascular issues, a lot of other risk factors for developing dementia. But we do see it in people that are younger, unfortunately. I have met someone as young as 33 who had Lewy body dementia. That's one of the other types of dementia. And she only lived about 3.5 years with it. I also have met someone who was in their late 30s who developed dementia. So certainly I've known over the years several people in their 40s and 50s who've developed dementia. So we don't want to just excuse it too if we have a lot of memory loss that we're concerned about and our family and friends are concerned about. Just because we're younger, we don't want to assume that could not be some form of dementia.
I know you said you are with this organization for last 24 years. Why did you get involved?
I became involved because my mom had Alzheimer's disease. She was only 64. She was a teacher and had achieved her Bachelor of Education when she was 58. Even though she'd been teaching several years, she got that great education at UBC. And then at 64, she had quite a bit of memory loss, and we were concerned. And she was diagnosed, and she lived 14 years with Alzheimer's. And since that, I've had several close friends as well who've who've had
So it's
dementia.
very close to you.
It is. It's very
Yeah.
close to my heart.
Yeah. So that's why you got involved. So you want to talk to these people that are watching you today that there is a lot of opportunities to be a volunteer. Work run that is taking place in May, that's fine to sign up. But there are other volunteer opportunities that you could be doing or they could be doing in the community or for the support group and all that, right?
There is. There are a lot of things locally. You can, as I mentioned, call the Dementia Helpline, and certainly they can refer you to an area in your community to see what's needed in that area. Some offices need people to help with office work and other things such as that. We also are always looking for facilitators. We train them very well, and then they can facilitate some of the support groups that we do, so we can provide even more of those to people than we have right now. We only have so many staff, so it's great to have volunteers to take that training and be able to help support people in their community, as well as virtually. We're training a lot right now to do the virtual support groups.
Those people that are not able to come out in
Right.
person, yeah.
Or even some people, they work full-time, it's
Yeah.
hard to get there in the evening. We do have some evening support groups as well. Even here in Surrey, we have an evening support group. But sometimes after a long day at work, it's just easier to sit down at your computer and connect with people that way.
Wow, you have been with this organization or Dementia Alzheimer's Society for that many years, and you have wealth of knowledge. So those people that are watching you today, and when you think of dementia, and a lot of people, especially South Asian people, they say, why go to the doctor? Why do this? Why do that? There is no cure, nothing. Nobody can do anything. So I think you have to not give up the hope that you still can have decent life. That if you know is being diagnosed and you're getting ongoing support groups are for the people who are living with the disease or sometimes or the people that are trained in that. So you have support that way. And if you talk about dementia, the people that don't have dementia, they don't have no clue. They won't be able to understand this. So there are a lot of things that people can help themselves or help their loved ones.
That's right, they can. And we do have support groups for people in the early stage of dementia.
Yes.
So people can contact us and go to that. We have one right now in Surrey that is not full. People can attend that support group. But it's so nice to know that they're not alone. Go to the doctor, get that diagnosis, and if they are one of the people who the medication works for, and not everyone can take the medication, and it doesn't work for everyone. They say around 70% of the people that medication can help, not a cure, but can help maybe a little more quality of life, but also contacting the society so we can provide you with some tools and some ways of communicating better so that even you yourself, with that diagnosis can live a better life and a more meaningful life and contribute. Even at the society, we can always connect you with people in research that are looking for people. We can give you, options for volunteering. Some of our people who are diagnosed actually are on several committees and contribute. They even meet with doctors to help the doctors learn more about living with dementia and how they can help enhance the life of a person with dementia. So they're contributing all the time to their community and to society and to enriching the lives of others around them, including, of course, people who are diagnosed. So they're contributing all the time. And sometimes that's one of the things people feel, I really can't do anything anymore. I've got dementia, so there's nothing I can do. But you can. Go to that support group, you get help yourself, but you're also supporting other people around you. And as I say, you can contribute on some of the committees we have too. So
what is your helpline, dementia helpline? Did you say you have 1-800 helpline?
First Link Dementia Helpline, yes, and it's 1-800-936-6033. And the great thing about it too is that it's open weekdays from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. There's one other program that we have that I hadn't mentioned too.
Go ahead.
And that's also for people with the early stage of dementia with a family member, or it can be a friend or neighbor. And that's our Minds in Motion program. That's 45 minutes of light exercise and then 45 minutes of social time, some games, and people really enjoy it. We do that virtually as well as in the community. So there are several in the Lower Mainland here as well as all through BC.
And keep your mind sharp that way.
Yes.
Yeah, and
for sure.
be among the people that you want to be with them. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to mention before we end up this interview?
I think mostly we've spoken about the things we'd like to cover, but just that please don't hesitate to go to your doctor, and please don't hesitate to call the Alzheimer's Society. 1 in 2 people in British Columbia don't know where to go to get help. We can provide you with help, and we can help you learn how to enrich your life with that diagnosis of dementia and support you as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Avalon. Please give her a call on their 24-hour helpline, dementia helpline, which is 1-800-936-6033. We just talked about Bell's Let's Talk event. I want to tell you that it was launched in 2010 and is marked on January 25th every year. It is an annual mental health initiative that focused on how we can support ourselves and those in our community by talking, by listening, and by being there for one another. Check out the website letstalk.bell.ca. PICS Mega Job Fair is taking place on Monday, February 6th, 2023 at Italian Culture Center, 3075 Slocum Street in Vancouver near the Renfrew SkyTrain station. For more information, please feel free to call Lily Dhadral at 604-596-7722. Showman Events has finally announced their dates and venue for their Abbotsford event, and tickets are available on eventbrite.ca. Book your calendar for 25th February as another comedy show is coming up in Abbotsford by Showman Events. Chicken Chopsers Food Drive is taking place on Saturday, February 4th from 12 until 4 p.m. at 8474 116 A Street in Delta. Cost is only $10 and all proceeds will help fund the first ever girls soccer team to Fiji in July 2023. For more information, call Ronald at 604-789-8885. Bulle Shah Academy of Canada. They invite you on Saturday, January 28th at 5 p.m. at 102-8268 120 Street in Surrey. Please join on this sacred night along with your family and friends, and refreshments will be served. For more information, please call 604-760-0096 or 604-716-6797. If you have missed our show, you can watch it again tomorrow night at 8:30 and again on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. on Shaw Cable. All of our shows are also uploaded on our YouTube channel under the Asian Pulse TV. Thomas Jefferson once said, "I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery." With that, we wish all our Indian viewers a very happy Republic Day from Asian Pulse TV. Have a good week. I'm your host, Mani Randhawa.